You're listening to a DM podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the podcast with the best banter, greatest gut feels, and most ridiculous narratives on planet Earth. Get ready to dominate the NRL Fantasy season with the team from Talking League.
G'day guys, welcome to Talking League. We're a weekly NRL Fantasy podcast. TK and Andy for the OGs on a Monday night. Andy, you're coming in hot after a massive weekend, but more importantly, mate, para with a great win on Thursday.
Just really set the tone for the weekend, actually, and you can hear from my voice a little bit husky. The weekend set the tone for my voice, it sounds like, but I had one of my Xbox parties, so Friday night, Saturday night, come home Sunday. Took today off as well because I needed the time to recover, and it was well needed. So, but man, that Thursday game, I had to stay up 2 more hours after the game just to sort of settle down to try and go to bed.
Yeah.
I was just so amped.
You should,
was
mate.
Just
the way they came back. First kind of like 20 minutes, they were looking straight out of it. But, mate, I'm kind of feeling in your camp as well. I haven't been drinking much at all lately, and I went Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Sunday was not too bad, but today I was a bit of a mess at work. I should have definitely taken that day off, mate. But a few fantasy prospects out of the Parramatta game there as well. You could definitely consider some, because we're sending it this round, mate, because we have fallen well behind, Eddie.
Yeah, well behind. Again, we just wanted the listeners to show them how you can come back from such a big start and bad start and bad deficit with the fantasy scores. So we're doing it for the fans. It's all for you guys, listeners. So
yeah,
follow us. Now we've done that. Now we're going to do the big send and come back.
Well, the thing is, Andy, there's 222,000 teams entered. Not everyone can be good. So there's a market for just mediocre fantasy teams. Forget the top 500.
Look, not everyone can be top 500 or top 1,000. We're here for the people. So
exactly the art of the comeback. But the thing is, Andy, we're gonna have a look at our team shortly. But my team's left nearly $11 million, and I'm 49,000th, which I think is the worst ranking I've ever had in this is my 6th year of playing NRL Fantasy. So, punters, let us know your worst ever rank in the comments. Actually, would love to know kind of how far you have fallen down.
This is pretty bad as well. I've been pretty bad the last couple of years, but this is a very bad start. So it's going to take a bit of advice and sort of digging ourselves out of this hole that we put ourselves in, intentionally, of course.
Yeah, mate. Well, in 5 years, last year was my worst finish at 1,200. So I don't think I'm going to need a miracle even in round 3 to come it back. But that's what I love about fantasy, mate, because it's another week. We get to send it. And then, keep sending it because we keep falling behind. But I'm quietly confident this is going to be my week. But why don't we start? Before we do that, just get following the socials. Talking League Shorts. That's obviously on the YouTube channel. Talking League Pod, Instagram, and Facebook. Some great shows around. Riley and Rowie doing a fantastic job. Fantasy Game Plan on a Sunday. Get around that. Waz Weekly, they've got another ripper episode coming out. The boys are on a high after 2-0, and they could go 3-0 against Paddy's Newcastle Knights. But, Andy, plenty to talk about. Before we do, why don't we have a little bit of fun here, Andy? Because Gossip Girl's our thing. A couple of ripper Gossip Girls came in during the week.
Some potentially fake news. I don't know. We'll see.
First one, we start with Cronulla Sharks left winger, Samuel Stonestreet, who was shipped off the company pier and retired a Cronulla Sharks cheerleader. She has now quit to pursue their relationship. What a man.
It's great for both of them, honestly. I think it's a win-win. So good on both of them. It's potentially if you're a footy player, you want to try and just nab a cheerleader and end up with it. And the cheerleader, you probably want to do the opposite, the other end. So, and they've both sort of seen a win in this scenario, and they've sort of said, "Let's go, let's do it."
Yeah,
so that's awesome.
Both are very attractive, kind of on their own part. But Andy, is that good enough? If you've seen Samuel in the free agency and draft, I feel that's a cheeky pickup straight away for this.
I think so. The Sharks are playing well. Unfortunately, didn't get the win last night.
On the weekend, mate.
Last weekend. But again, this is what Gossip Girl's for. It's about finding the gems that aren't always there in the stats. It's there in the behind the scenes.
Now, let's move on to one of our main men here. Now, there could be some fake news around this because somehow he's miraculously got hair back. But how good is this one from Walshy? No wins, no worries, smoking his cigar in his hot tub. This is brilliant stuff.
Is it brilliant? I understand if he's actually posted this, like, what's doing? You've lost to Parramatta, who got beat by 50, beat by Melbourne. You've had no points in the first against who would you against Penrith round one. So look, it's probably not the best look, but maybe it is a good sign. Jimmy Maloney, when he had a bad game, he comes back and he actually has a mistake and he comes back and plays well. So maybe you sort of use that mentality to sort of go, you know what, we've got it next week.
Well, the thing with Walshy is, right, like having a look at, he used AI a lot to kind of simulate his body into his big bodybuilder. Now he'll probably claim that someone's put him AI into this kind of.
I'm pretty sure that's what I saw, wasn't it? Sorry, Ayongi was trying to claim as well. Potential AI.
Yeah. Your man Ayongi, that's right. But looking very comfortable there, Walshy. Hopefully he did have a nice weekend and he kind of has a big bounce back for everyone's teams. But Andy, let's have a look at the good, bad, and ugly because there's been plenty of bad and ugly in our teams. Why don't we bring yours one up first, my man? Now, take us for round 2, mate. How'd you go?
Look, this is my round 3 team. Let's go back to round 2. Apologies.
Let's go to round 2. That's all right.
So not good with a couple of poor scores. Marnie didn't score that well. Ponga, the injury. We got Simpkin with another. He went off injured as well, so it's pretty upsetting. And then Brown injured again, which is it hurts us. But not that bad. I didn't think it was score that bad. Like it's only just under 1,000.
946 in round 2 used to be pretty awesome back in the day.
Yeah,
it's like
happened,
not even a pass.
It's like the players are playing fantasy now, so they're trying to boost their own scores up. they're aware of it more now, so I don't know. But the bad was probably just the injuries in Ponga and Simpkin. I didn't end up playing the lower players, which is sort of good. But Hamish Stewart played well. Good again. Payne Haas, Dewey, Chester, Moses is staying in my team because he come good. First half was pretty bad, but I gave him one more chance, and I think I'll give him one more chance because he's coming good now. But I wasn't happy with. I wasn't happy, but fantasy-wise, wasn't happy with. Pezzett was doing a lot of the attacking plays, so the whole theory of Moses running that team and becoming the main half, like attacking half, it's sort of shot myself in the foot because Pezzett's playing that well in attack. So.
Hey, and saying that, Pezzett, so some of those balls for Kelma Tuolagi was looking like Brendan Nickera.
He was sprinting off him. Like that first try, he was literally sprinting and he caught that ball. There was no way they weren't going to tackle him at the line. But playing out of his skin, old Kelma.
Andy, what's your team worth? Because you've got most of the cashies here, so you're still accumulating a little bit of cash. I know that you've got probably a couple of considerations for this round. If you just go to your trades and it should bring up what your team value is.
Yeah, 10.6.
So still pretty good. 10.7. You got 51 in the bank. So still pretty high considering like where we're both ranked. I think mine's only worth about 100,000 or so, a little bit above that. I've got Couchman. That's the only difference, I think, between our teams, and I'm slightly lower ranked than you because I've kind of held a little bit back on I had Carraz out last week and I had heaps of cash out too.
Yep.
So I'll get him back. But yeah, not too bad. Let's we won't go to trades on our mind just yet. Why don't we quickly share my team and then we can kind of have a look at the burning questions for the round. But let's remove yours, put mine up. Now, I scored a 933. What's a little bit lower than yours, mate? I copped it from everywhere. When you think Tino, he's a bum now. He's not good at all. We'll definitely be trading him out. And then I got most of the cashies. Like Ryan Couchman ends up on there. Didn't need to loop Sammy Walker, but then I got stuck with the Ponga Brown. Unfortunately, they were both looking at like scoring big scores, right? If they stayed on the field, we probably would have cracked 1,000, right, Annie?
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Unfortunately, we didn't. But at least the cash is accumulating. Gives me a nice little, play it, send it round this round. But yeah, ranking 49,051. But I think it's the only way is up, right? Like I'd probably consider myself maybe like Shane Flanagan. Got some tough decisions to make this week, whether I want to kind of like stick to my guns with a couple of proven guns like a Tino or just really ship him out, mate, and kind of just think around something else. But why don't we go to a few of these burning questions? Because first one I was going to ask is around this guy, Nathan Cleary, Andy. Now, we both been the chin went anti-chin, but mate, scored a nice little 92 against the Sharkies. And if you look at all the stats across the board, mate, this guy could go again this round because, like, realistically, he had one try, but that was just a walk-in try. But he hasn't had any try assists. And if you look at his accumulation of stats across there, very repeatable here, Andy.
100% repeatable, and I feel like Blaze isn't doing too much in that team. So it's all Cleary, which was what I was hoping what Moses would do. But I think he just seems to be giving those. And it's not ghost points. It's just he gets points for everything. Even if he touches the ball and it touches 5 other people, he's going to try assist or like a try involvement. So I think he's back to his best. I'm going to try and get him in. We'll have to talk to our AI later and see if it's the right thing to do. But
Yeah.
I think 92 is probably a decent score for him. He'll probably get that, if not 70 every week now. So, yeah, again,
Having a look, look at the historical average there as well, 78 against the Chookies. So you're bringing in pretty good round. So I think it's a safe play. Just would you captain him over Haas now?
Tough to say. Probably after a 92, and he's shown that he can do it. I guess it's who's Haas got next week.
Haas has got the Storm on Friday, but it's the.
So yeah, I'd probably captain.
He's
Cleary.
playing first. Andrew Baker's leaving a few good comments. He reckons Tricky Trindle definitely plays fantasy. He goes, Snapchat AI is always good to start your fantasy team too. Yeah, good advice there, but we'll keep going, Andy. Now, the next one is the guy we just brought up in Gossip Girl, Reese Walsh. Now, Eddie. Now, 628K here for people that don't own him. Looks like Adam Reynolds is going to be out a few weeks with that rib injury. We saw what that turnaround did at the back end of last year. Can you consider that maybe they got Storm away? Is this potentially a game to maybe avoid doing it and maybe bring him in maybe next week?
I don't think so.
Look at that draw coming up here.
Yeah, the draw's amazing, but luckily he's average against the Storm, 65. I think the kicking thing is a major thing plus for him. I think if you haven't got him, it's just a flip a coin with him or Cleary that you get, and obviously this guy's cheaper. For going to be a higher score per point or per dollar average, but yeah, I think you've got to pick him with Adam Reynolds out. He just kicks a lot in that game, and kicking doesn't really gas him. And he looked good even against Parramatta, who was always in the game doing the chip and chase, where he scored that try again. So yeah, I think he's probably due for a couple of good scores. Now that first 25 was a bit of a scare for people. I was actually thinking about do I punt him instead, but luckily I didn't. It would have hurt me even more.
It's a very good hold. And you also have to consider Andy, no try assists in these two games as well. So you'd have to think that there's going to be, he loves a try assist. So in the next couple of games, I think there's going to be a few, what you mentioned before there with the kicks. Even against the Storm, you're probably thinking 3 to 4 kicks. So that could be an additional 6 to 8 points. It does seem like a really good play, especially if you've got the cash and you don't have any other fires to put out. But I think in the coming weeks, you're going to be wanting to hold Reese Walsh because those fixtures coming up, Andy, post this. Even though you did, say 65 average, which is very good average against a team as good as Storm, but you'd have to think it's going to be a very open Dolphins, Titans, Cowboys, Tigers, like that next month of football after that. I think you want to be an owner.
Well, the thing I noticed about the Broncos in the first 2 weeks is their defense has been horrendous. So that was the reason why Parramatta got back into that team. They just sort of fell away, which means they have to score points. So there will be a lot of attacking points in this team. I think, especially with Reynolds out, not like he's the biggest tackler anyways. We're going to have someone else into the side that's not part of that team. I think the attacking wise, the Broncos are going to hit it hard. So
let's keep moving on. Now, Andy, the next guy is in my team, one of my fan favorites, but unfortunately he's let me down quite a lot this guy did as well, but didn't really want to talk about him just yet. I want to talk about Sammy Walker because Sam Walker, mate, you know me, I like kind of picking him up early season. Always happens in this round one, and he absolutely goes horrendous. Kind of always turns himself around that Anzac Day game. But Sammy Walker, DCE, looked a lot better on Friday night. But what's really, stands out, he's got limited kick meters. His running game did return a touch on Friday, but he's very much like Walsh. He hasn't had a try assist, which is very unusual. Back into last year, he was hitting like 2 try assists a game, mate. So is it just a case of maybe giving Sammy one more week? He be warming into it? Is there bigger fires for me to put out?
I think in your case with Ponga out, there probably is bigger fires. You probably potentially give him that chance, but again, I still worry. I still worried. Let's see last week. That DCE factor. seems like Tedesco's doing a lot in that team again. Whether he's just taking the ownership on him until these two gel. As obviously a new halves combo, but I think DC just holds too much of a presence in that team. And even though he said he wants to sort of hang back and that was his role, it's DC. I don't know. He's always been a bit of a player who wants to sort of take the ball in his hands and be that first receiver. So
that's a very great word by there. Pugh's presence after a big weekend. That's very, very good, Andy.
My presence is probably still at that accommodation.
Andy, what's been happening in the mids, mate? Because we're getting stung by a number of these players. The three we're going to talk about: Tino, Mo Fodawaker, Toby Couchman. Toby's hurting a lot of people, especially when you consider his brother's absolutely killing it. Doesn't look 100% either. Was seen kind of hobbling and all sorts of things. We'll bring up his stats now just to kind of have a look at what kind of minutes he's playing and kind of his output. We both got him last year. Very, very good average, only averaging 45. Did have an inflated sort of score in that round one, Andy, that kind of maybe saved owners a little bit, that 56 and 66. But last week, only 34 in 42 minutes. Like, again, does it depend on what other fires, the bushfires you have to put out in round three, or if you've got nothing to put out, is he a sell?
Potentially a pivot, yeah, or a detour, or a derailment from Toby Couchman, because I guess that Terrell May's back. When he came back with a vengeance 62 after round one. There's nothing wrong with just going that big mid strategy. And most people have Trey Mooney, most people have Haas, most people have Yo. So whether it's trade him and someone else to get May in, or just have faith in these other mids that are a lot cheaper that are scoring the exact same score. Hamish Stewart, 461k, and he scored 3 more points than Toby. So he might be a keeper in the long game, but like we said around round one, the Vegas points, the extra 10 minutes, that's what got Toby that 56 because the extra minutes. So maybe with all those rotations on the bench or the middle rotations, it's hard to sort of get Toby's minutes again. He might become a keeper back in the future. Like, he could just be a failing gun at the moment, wait till he drops a bit, sell him before he drops too much, and then pick someone else up and pick him up a little bit cheaper.
Tell you what, Bart, his brother, absolutely killing it. I think he started as a cashy. Geez, Shane Flanagan's got a lot of trust in him. So the skinny brother is absolutely the runt. See what happens when you're the runt? You just, you play harder.
Well, I think it's just the way the game's going. Everyone's doing a lot more 6 agains. That skinnier sort of middle or that edge is just sort of being a little bit more dominant because they can actually keep up the tackles and not miss them. So, and then you got this bloke.
Let's have a look at these two, Tino and Mo. Now, Josh Hannay doesn't like fantasy coaches, does he? He's playing this guy 49 and 46 minutes. Mo, 45 and 38 minutes. So it's very interesting. Tino, he just looks a little bit off, doesn't he? Like, he's not looking to offload. I don't know if there's instructions out there to play a very basic game of football, especially with Jaden Campbell out at the moment, but not really looking to, mate, 103 run meters last week and then 90 in the first week. Defense looked really sloppy from this guy as well. He is leaking cash. I just think it's time to get off the ship, even if you've got other cash. Like, for me, like, one of the golden rules, right, Andy, is, your key is your availability. There's some sort of term that, because of this big weekend, I just can't remember. But
it's been a rough Monday.
It's been a rough couple of weeks. But I just can't see any real, justice to hold him in. Like, why would you?
I feel like you bring up a good point in, the fact he hasn't had his main half, their dominant half for the first 2 games of the season, which is Jaden Campbell. He's back in round 3. So if you had other spot fires and you're thinking about Celentino, maybe there's a glimmer of hope in holding him because he comes back but I don't know how that affects, him getting more minutes. You know what I mean? So it's sort of like a bit of a risky play, whether you put other trades out and just hope Tino comes back when Campbell comes back. And just for someone who recently re-signed, if there was rumors he wasn't happy pre-season or last year, everyone was playing golf, and he didn't, whether he wasn't good enough and didn't want the boys to play golf, and he wouldn't jump in. It was just unfortunate for him. So, yeah, I guess if you could.
He's not even that old, mate. He's 26.
26.
You could make you could make a conclusion. Remember when Payton came in and he slowed down Tamiolo, but he was getting older.
Yeah.
He was his late 20s.
Yeah, that's fair.
You see Cleary kind of doing it right now with Isaiah Yo as well. But I do think that back end of the season, he'll probably play a lot bigger minutes. But yeah, Tino's only 26 and just re-signed, so he's at the peak of his career, right? So it's very unusual. Mo as well, because Mo's an impact player. Like, if you're only playing for 38 minutes, you may as well play him off the bench, right? They've got a couple of young guns that they play that 4 mid rotation. I guess Hannay comes from that kind of Fitzy Sharkies 4-man mid rotation as well. So he's kind of holding this at the Titans too. But yeah, I don't know. You're 2 gun origin props and you're hardly playing them like premium minutes.
Maybe the other case is he's had 2 games to try out this early mid rotation with taking them off early. 2 losses as well. So maybe round 3 he has to try and change things up to give him more minutes. So maybe he has to try something.
Just looking at the comments, Michael Collier said that the word is Adam Reynolds is good to go. So that's an interesting one. Would you still maybe? I would probably go Walshy next week, even if he's back. But I'd probably hang off if that's the case. Now, two very clever men in the comments there. Brendan Vickery, he's talking about Alex Twal after he told me to get off him and get Tino. And then Cliffy Stone, Twal is a must-have. Yes, no doubt, boys. Hope you both, yeah.
Brenton's it's like your mate showing you his winnings, winners, and not showing the tips. Come on, tip before slips, boys. Come on.
100%. That's Andy. Just keep moving now. Oh, actually, before we go, I reckon there's 2 bids that are going right under the radar here, Andy, and they're both from the wires. They're getting no love at all. Jackson Ford and James Fisher Harris. Like,
yeah,
if you're looking for some straight forward, yeah, they're both weapons at the moment, and very, very good to watch, racking up the stacks, getting the minutes. If I was an owner of either Tino and Toby and I had no other bushfires to put out, I'd be going one of those 2 boys.
What's the price difference? What's Ford at?
It's not much, mate. So 40.
Yeah, 645. That's crazy.
So Ford.
And he's getting the minutes.
45.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
I guess the only
James
danger
Fisher
there.
Harris, 626, mate.
He's averaging 58. Do we see their minutes drop off when Barnett comes back? I heard Barnett's come back pretty soon. So there's a worry, I guess. But they are picking up a lot of the middle rotation and minutes there. So
you'd have to expect someone has to give some minutes to Barnett. Barnett's an origin prop, right? So
I guess
make
it's
a really
good
point. So yeah, it is always a danger, but that just kind of what they're doing at the moment, just form wise, I just kind of
they're 2-0. So I suppose they don't want to change up the team and the makeup too much. It seems to be working for them. So who knows?
Absolutely. Let's keep going. Callum Ponga. Unfortunate news, 8 weeks out, Andy. So you got to use the cash wisely. Luckily, he's made cash. Even if you brought him in like us 2 did last week, at least we made some money, right? So 649, plenty of spend. I know a lot of people were kind of keeping a lot of money in the bank, but a lot of chat about maybe upgrading to, Chin's an obvious one, but I guess the other one is maybe going a premium like a Herbie Farnworth. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Again, he's back to his scoring best. Herbie. He's doing everything. You could even go with Teddy. Teddy's doing in some good form too. So if you wanted to go winger fullback to winger fullback, but I'm assuming a lot of people have winger fullback cover when all their cheapies. So whether you want to run one of those, but yeah, a solid Herbie Farnworth could be good because I feel like he's just gonna get too out there in price, and he's just gonna be unattainable. Even though he's almost unattainable now, but he's just that good. So again, another one went through the keeper starting the season with Herbie, but it is what it is, and that's why I ranked 45,000.
It's not about how you start with Herbie; it's about how you get him after round 6 and overpay for 100 grand. Yeah. That's how you do it.
Yeah, after you just sold pretty low on all your mids.
Let's keep going now. Deal bags now. Andy, I'm actually a thought now because we do have deep squads with our cashies playing really well. And what I'm finding is I think we do need a looper moving forward. And I guess his injury maybe could be only a 2 to 3 week injury. I liked a lot what I saw from him yesterday. I really do think that he kind of found his feet a little bit with Callan. And I thought Sandon Smith played really, really well yesterday as well. But with Dylan Brown, any chances you may hold him?
I think the problem with me is if I want to bring in the Chin, I'm going to have to sell Ponga and someone else of a decent value to get the money to bring in Chin. So that's the only reason why I would sell him. But maybe I just cancel the Chin and just go Tanner Boyd instead. It's just
yes.
Yeah, maybe
So
I just.
I think you've got to go now, but don't you reckon?
Correct, and that's why look, I'm this far behind. I know biting the chin is not sort of the ideal, but we just hope for something, hope for an injury or poor form. But I think with my money wise, because I don't actually hate the idea of holding Brown and using as a looper, because I haven't got one on my team, or I have two
Yeah.
currently, but I'll have to save one. But yeah, I think
Sure.
Tanner Boyd's been playing that bloody well. You can
I'll
pivot
try to
to
I'll try to
him
bring
in
him
centre
up for
field.
us, Andy, because I was having a look at his stats just a couple of minutes ago, and mate, he's hitting like he's Michael Jordan or something. Like I think he's had a try and 2 try assists, stack of goals. Here he is, Andy. So have a look at him now. 1 try in each of the games, 7 kicks in the first one, 5 in the second, 2 try assists in both.
That's so
He's
good.
kicked 300 meters, which he then elevated to nearly 800 meters in the second game.
Damn.
So a lot's happening here, mate, for this guy. I think he's in great form, right? And the thing is Metcalf, does he have to come back? If they keep winning, like, does he come back
Does he
to
go
New
7 or does he come
South Wales?
back as 6? I think
Does he
surely he
come
comes
back to
back to
yeah,
this.
exactly. Maybe
The
a
CFT not
6.
play because at the moment Tanner Boyd you cannot drop him. He's 2-0. It's almost like you need to let him falter before you let Luke Metcalf play.
Yeah. So
And it
maybe
might
they
happen,
use
but
Metcalf's played very well, both 6 and 7, right? So
correct,
Tanner
yeah.
Boyd's only really a 7. It's really hard to get this guy to the team while they're playing the way they are. So I think you're on something here.
I think I've talked myself into him now. I think we're going to go. The problem is I've got so many halves. I've got
You
Atkinson,
need
I've got
another one.
Dewey, I've got Moses, I've got Brown. If I'm going to keep Brown, so
And it's the
yeah,
beauty of send it round. Send it means
yeah,
that you
true.
just go to just places you didn't want to go before. So Tanner Boyd
Maybe we'll have
could
to talk.
be exactly who you need. But Eddie, the other guy that I want to talk to you about is someone that's health has never been his mainstay. Now, Tom, he's looking a lot better. He looks fit, he looks strong, but given what we just witnessed with Kalen Ponga, Manly's got the bye, so we don't have to worry about this for a week. But I do like what I'm seeing. But is it too weak? Can we go to another broken fullback come round 4?
Oh, I don't know if you can, and that's the problem. I think we sort of had the wool pulled over our eyes in round 1 in Vegas with I don't know Vegas, sorry, with Kalen Ponga. Oh, there was Vegas, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
You
I don't know
tricked
if we
us.
can. Yeah, I don't know if we
You
can. I
tricked
feel like
us.
we need to sort of just take a back seat, and because we've had this bad start, we've had 2 injuries already. I think you're going to need to go. We're going to let Tom Turbo fall to the keeper. The injuries will come, or they won't, and we'll just burn. But we had a good reason why we didn't pick him because we got butt hurt by Kalen Ponga. So
The biggest standout was his strength. The one where he just smashed over Crossland, carried Ponga over as well. But standing up in the tackle and offloading just seems like a treat for him now too, because he just has so much strength. But it is a bit of he did score 1 try and had a try assist and 4 offloads and still only racked up 57. So maybe again, picking a broken fullback, maybe just not for us, Andy.
yeah, I don't think he's send it round. I think send it's a high quality. High risk, but they're going to play for like easily. If they don't, they won't get injured. Tanner Boyd's not going to get injured. He's got a consistent game, but yeah, I think his injury risk is too bad. Even though he's had more games than Moses has in the last 2 seasons, so like it is sort of a little bit blown out of the water. Tommy Turbo's injury sort of worry. So
Andy, my memory has come back. The line I was looking for is your best ability is your availability.
hey, that's good. That's good.
Yes. So maybe I've got to reverse that Tino trade. But Eddie, another one I want to talk to you about is Isaiah Yo, because we
Mm.
saw him play limited, well, not limited, but a lot less minutes than he normally does. Bit of chatter from his coach as well, saying that for the time being, that the rotation they're doing with Jack Cogger, and I think Jack Cogger's out maybe for this week, and then he's going to replace by probably another half. But it's not going to change anytime soon. So you brought him in from memory last week. Now, he still got you a solid 53 here, Andy. Played 72 minutes, which is still decent. Are people kind of panicking a little bit too much?
I think so. Lindsay Smith's not playing that well. The other middle. I think we don't have to worry too much. He's only lost 6K. Oh, sorry, he's only lost a bit of cash. So much, where is he? And that's a bit of cash. And I think it's Isaiah. He's still going to be one of the best mids in the game. I don't think he's going to be the best mid in the game, like moving forward, seeing these minutes. But I think if he's in your team, you can cop the 10-point loss that we get 12K. and he's predicted to. He goes his break even 60, so he can get that next week. So I think he won't lose any cash. I think he'll stay at that.
Yeah, I think
I
anywhere
don't
around that
think
700K, he'll be probably a buy actually. So
potentially, yeah. I suppose maybe he's a buy if he gets lower because it is his IO and the middles aren't really looking like they're consistent minutes. So
the thing is, I wouldn't like totally panic because the game when he went off was over against Brisbane, 64.
yeah.
The game against the Sharks was over when he went off at 72.
Mm.
So if they have a tight game this week where, yeah, it could happen away from home from Roosters, he could easily play 80 minutes.
And they usually, and even the game after that, Parra
Parra,
usually
like
does bring it
Derby.
to him in the middle in pre-season or season. Sorry.
Yeah, man.
So I guess his minutes will
No
come.
panic. No selling for that at all. But let's keep going. Why don't we finish with have we missed the boat? Actually, before we do that, one other guy that did stand out, maybe give him one more week, was Isaiah Papali'i, Andy. So
Mm.
I guess they're going to get a few troops back this week because Liam Martin's back from both injury and I think his wife having a child. But, sorry, not a child, twins actually. They had a little thing on the Telegraph before. But I guess IPAPS didn't start round one, did start round two. Has been absolutely flying form-wise on that left edge. So I guess if he does it'll be good to see his role this week, but he's potentially in my mind for next week, Andy.
Well, look, if you wanted to pivot from Tino and Milford Waker, it's pretty much an extra couple of K, and you got Isaiah Papali'i, who's got DPP. So I can see that as a potential trade out, and he's making money. So yeah, I don't know. I think we got other issues to worry about
I
before we
think so
bring him in.
too. Andy, let's talk about have we missed the boat? Now, the first one, Sua Fa'alongo. Now, I don't know why. So this sometimes when you listen to too many podcasts and they all kind of want to just not have this guy. And they made some actual valuable points too. It's not like they didn't have
Mm.
any points around that because his reserve grade average obviously is not great, but absolutely brained it against Para. 2 tries and 1 try assist for his 55. On the weekend, he scored an 80 with 3 tries and 1 try assist. The games do get harder, but Andy, this week.
Correct. And
Are
that's
they
where you
kind
look
of,
at it.
is kind of the week that he kind of drops back, and then a lot of people chasing him maybe get caught up in the fact that he did play potentially 2 of the non-top 8 teams.
I think he's spot on. He's played the Eels and Dragons. Known for not being that good last year. We did maybe towards the end, but again, they spanked us. They spanked the Dragons. I think he is good, but if you chase him, I don't think he's going to get you those scores every week.
Yeah,
It's
I think
unfortunate. I think you probably go better off with
yeah.
another fullback.
I think you just got to cop it on the chin that you kind of messed up and
Yep.
look for another premium. But your man here,
Before you go, I'm gonna
yeah.
blame you. Brenton always likes to say he's good picks in the chat, but he doesn't say the ones he's led us away from, and it was this bloke here, Suoli Fa'alongo. So
Yeah.
that's for you.
I listen to Brenton
Brenton.
way too much, mate. Way too much. But Andy, your man here, Isaiah Yongi, sorry, and he scored a 57 against the Storm. Pretty much the grand final from last year. He scored 57 and 67. Nice little start to the year. He could be, if you got some. See, it's not only send it round. It's do you have some balls round? If you got
Correct.
some balls, this is the guy I think you're probably going after, man.
That's true. If we do have the Callum Ponga that we potentially want to pivot out to. So, and look, what's his fixtures looking like in the future? I know he's still got a hard run to
Fixtures, here we
start.
go.
But Dragons, Panthers, Tigers, Titans, Bulldogs, not too bad. And again, last year
Pretty
his
good.
average isn't that good because it wasn't really his best last year. He was getting good, but I think he's better. What it looks like he's versus the Broncos and the Storm and scoring scores like that. Like that's pretty good. And like I said, he scored 1 try against the Storms and he still scored 57. So like it's not like he's just doing attacking stats. He's getting involved and he's constantly putting his effort in. So I don't hate that shout.
Are you going to the Dragons game again at Combank?
Yes, yeah, I'll be going to that game and then heading straight into night shift. So should be a good little game. We usually have a good record against the Dragons, so I'm going with a couple of Dragons fans. But I think if you want to pick him up, this is the time. I think you chase this man instead of Suoli Fa'alongo.
Yeah,
I think
I agree.
the upside's there.
I'm thinking about bringing this guy in, Jesse Colquhoun, and I do think he's kind of in that same bracket of you probably don't want to pay much more than kind of $399K. Match stats, getting plenty of minutes in that starting role does kind of seem to be his role. Gets through his stats. Just a good one that I'm going to kind of potentially bring in as my 20th man. Just a bit of mid cover. I just do think that holding him at $399K versus Tino at that early 600Ks Just makes a lot more sense. He's scoring a lot more better than him and getting a lot more minutes than him. So get to cash down and get some more money in the bank.
I suppose what's your Sharks insider knowledge about the return of McInnes?
Well, they're talking. I reckon they're gonna play him off the bench. I think it makes more sense because ever since Colquhoun started in the starting lineup, Sharks had a really big issue with starting well in games, and I think it's because McInnes and Brayley in that middle field together, being two smaller guys, like they're really hard. Like they were just losing the battle in the first 20 minutes a lot. Jesse Colquhoun's a big guy, right? So we just generally have better starts with him in. And then with the kind of speed of the game with the new rules again kicking in, I think McInnes will get handy around that kind of that middle of the game. Smaller men can start dominating with the fatigue coming in. And then he's just coming back from an ACL as well. So I don't think Fitz is any kind of position to rush. They've signed this guy long term, gave him a big extension. So I do think that maybe, I just think that when you're the starting lock for the Sharks, you're kind of going to be playing around that 50 minutes mark. And that's kind of what he is right now. He's a cashy you probably hold till around 7 or 8 if you get in early. So I do think there's another 100K to kind of make on this guy. So, yeah, I'm just thinking that it's just a smarter decision to have him than Tino. I haven't made many smart decisions this year, Andy. So
it shows in the ranks. It does. This could be it. This is the pivot round. We can take a detour and start getting some better scores. I think I don't hate that shout actually. In a 399K for a middle is scoring like more than a 600K in your Tino. I think it's a great little swap there.
Yeah. Now, Andy, the time has come. The time has come to unleash our AI. People don't know anything what we're kind of about to do, but how are we going to do this, Andy? Are we going to show them our new masks that we put on when we... How do we do this?
I'm going to put mine on. Yeah, I'll put mine on, change my voice.
All right, I'll talk to the people while you do that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is my trades for the round. Looking at Kalen Ponga, sending it to Nathan Cleary. Going to go Tino over to Jesse Colquhoun. That will raise me another 339K, which will give me plenty of action to maybe move one of kind of Buller, Sam Walker next week and just see what happens after that. But just waiting for Andy Intelligence to make his way into the the programming. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so then we can see a better action of Andy, and I'll be back.
Oh, hello, TK. What is the trade you would like to submit? Ponga to Fire Logo or Ponga to Eyes Only? That's an interesting question. Farlongo has a full-time role and priced reasonably at 467K. No, he's not. He's a little bit more priced than that. And showed massive upside with a 3-try, 80-point performance in round 2. This is Supercoach stats. Come on. It's already got the show. Anyway, the good value top option is Ione. Top target is Fire Logo, but I think from the stats that you two have submitted, I think Ione is a good option to come forward because Farlongo is played two pretty piss poor defensive teams, and Ione's got the future there. So Ione is my pick.
So the AI Andy just says to just send it.
Send it.
Now having a look at my trades, Kalen Ponga to Nathan Cleary, the logic. Ponga confirmed 6 to 8 weeks out, high grade hamstring. Send it. Thanks, AI. Thank you. Next one. Tino to Jesse Colquhoun. Goodbye. The logic. Tino is a difficult hold after back-to-back underwhelming scores. Colquhoun with Cam McInnes sideline. Colquhoun has secured the starting 13 jersey for the Sharks. Expect to play him high minutes and a score of 45 to 50. Andy, I'm locking him in.
Lock him in. That's good work, TK. I think we can perfect this a little better.
Well, that's good.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's really hard to see anyone in these masks. So I don't know how many more weeks we can actually do that in. But Eddie, That was very, very sweaty. I don't know if we can actually do that again. But someone said it's very hard to hear you, bro. But yeah, we'll see what happens to Andy Intelligence. And what are we calling me?
Typical. No,
Bring your mic a little bit closer to yourself too, Andy. You brushed it off when you. There you go. You're back.
What yours was? It was
Aeon.
It was Anon. Yeah, Anon.
Aeon. Anyway.
Anon for anonymous.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We just want to have a bit of a laugh because our fantasy is going absolutely terrible. But Andy, enjoy your week ahead, mate. I know we bounce back around. It's tough for everyone, but I'm very, very kind of confident that we will return to the top 20,000 next week.
Yeah, I think so. Keep your heads up. Make some smart trades. Listen to, I guess this is what we said. Listen to the other Talking League lads as well. There's a lot of them doing a lot better than us.
Definitely listen to the other Talking League kids. Actually, listen to only them. Just tune into Monday for a laugh. That's all you have to do. But
I think good advice there from AI and on, but also from us. I think we've done well. I think we'll go well for sending it around.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, have a great week ahead. Appreciate you tuning into the live feed or tuning in back in on the audio. But we will catch you again next Monday. Have a great week.